Good morning and bienvenue to Life's Questions and Lessons. I am your host, Charity Youngblood, and I am so grateful that you are here with me today. This podcast is unedited because life is unedited. Now, let's get started with our first question. Do I feel free to make this decision? Do I feel free to make this decision? So I was talking to a woman that I mentor. She is such a wonderful human, first of all, and we really end up. She would probably not say this, but I'm gonna say we end up mentoring each other. Because I really do feel like no matter how much life experience, no matter how much experience you have in a particular area or industry, we all have something to learn from each other. So we had a wonderful conversation as we always do. And she is currently struggling with something that I really thought would be helpful to bring to the podcast because I know I have struggled with this in the past and I'm sure I will continue to struggle with it in the future at some point. And it's really where the context comes into this question. So she is currently working full time, but going to school for something in a completely different industry. And she's kind of, in her words, she can't really tell if it's her family that she is trying to please by going to school and pursuing this particular life path and career path, or if it's something that she really wants. And so, one thing that came up in that conversation was the question that I posed to her was, the same question for today's podcast. Do I feel free to make this decision? A lot of times we have a goal, whether it's a small goal or a life-changing goal, that we feel is permanent. So, for instance, if you are interested in a career in medicine, you want to be a nurse, you want to be a doctor, anything that requires a number of years to commit to for that particular career in medicine, you might think to yourself, well, that's so many years. I don't know if I'm going to want to do something like that. What if I don't like it? What if, all the what ifs come around? And we forget that we can change our minds. And so that was one thing that came up in our conversation that I really wanted to share with you. That has helped me really kind of alleviate some of the stress of, well, what if this step isn't the right next step? What if this career isn't the right career? Nothing is permanent. And I'm not sure if it's a societal thing. I'm not sure, where we kind of lost ourselves in thinking that we're not allowed to change our minds. And if we say we want to do something, or if we've been doing something for years, there's this, piece of us that's like, well, no, I can't not do this. And I'm telling you right now, that is definitely something worth exploring. So if you are in a point in your life where you're following a certain path, whether it's in a career or in your personal life, looking at something, maybe a certain lifestyle choice that you felt you wanted for as long as you can remember, but it just doesn't feel right. It really is important to ask yourself this second question of, why do I feel like I cannot change my mind? Or what is the worst thing that will happen if I take a different path? The real important pieces of this work, this self-reflection, is figuring out why you feel the way that you feel, and just digging as much as you can into that, exploring it in curiosity, not judgment. A lot of times the insights that come up will surprise you, to be honest, but it will also give you some comfort. I'm definitely at the point in my life that if something doesn't work out, it's like, okay, I have a lot of trust in everything happens for a reason. And wherever I'm meant to be is where I'm meant to be. And that definitely came from and continues to come from the work in self-reflection, spending time to ask myself these questions and why I feel a certain way, or why I think I'm not allowed to do something. And it will really surprise you. So I really challenge you to take some time with these questions in whatever way works best for you. As always, thank you so much for listening. Please rate or review this podcast wherever you are listening to my words. And if this episode was helpful for you, please share it. And until next time, take care.